Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello everybody and welcome back to X-Plane 10. Once again, we're going to be flying a helicopter today. We're sitting over here on the signature ramp in St. Louis, and I figured I'd just give you guys this short tour of St. Louis and maybe head down to where I live and show that area of Fenton in the helicopter. Now, I am not a great helicopter pilot, never claimed to be. It's going to be a bitch, I'll tell you that right now, because this is not that easy to fly. And it's a default helicopter, so that's probably not helping with the flight models. I know a lot of the payware ones out there by Dreamfoil and all that. I do want to get one of those eventually, because I've heard great things about them. So this is default. We're not going to expect too much. Something is really funny is when I just loaded this up and I was sitting here on the ramp, I noticed not only is this a Canadian livery, it's Heli jet, but look at this. This dude's got a St. Louis hat on. Never saw that coming. Ooh, look at me. I got a St. Louis hat on. So we're going to fire this thing up. You know, as far as systems go, not much to it. You may be wondering why the engine or why the blades are still spinning. That's because it was running when I started it, so I killed it, and now we'll start it back up. It's very, very, very simple to start. The real one's a lot harder to do. And when we get into those payware ventures of helicopters, we'll get more into the detailed start. So let's head into the cockpit now. And you can see here, this little piece is like a little string taped to the windscreen. And I'm not sure if that's really for to know when you're in a hover or if it's for the wind to kind of tell where the wind's coming from. Regardless, let's just get this thing started. So first things first, we want to turn the battery on. Master switch comes alive like that. We can see the VOR shoot to the side there. If we wanted to track a VOR, we could with the OBS there. And our nav radio. So we don't start the gen. The gen is the generator in the actual turbine, so it's going to get us going. It's not much to it. You just flick, the governor on and start, or you can hit start and the governor. Like I said, I'm not a helicopter pilot. I don't know that much about it. Alex knows, the Northern Alex knows a lot more about helicopters than I do. But anywho, let's go ahead and turn the fuel valve on, like so. I already said like so. We're off to a great start. Okay, let's go ahead and hit the start button and hold it down. We want to hold that button down till it gets, I think it's like 20 or whatever it is. And you'll hear it ignite like it just did there. Nice. And she's starting to fire up quite nicely. Let's have a look at the gauges here. And we can see that we have fuel flow. Yes. We've got, we do have, our rotors are starting to climb now. And everything else is looking great in the green. Beautiful. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. And now we have running engine. We can turn the governor on. What the governor does is it's like an electrical assist to maintain proper rotor RPM. Not really sure. We might do that once we get in the air or something. But now that we have the engine started, we can go ahead and turn the generator on. So all the electrical systems will be running off of the generator instead of the battery. And let's go ahead and flick the governor on for now. They have it on by default whenever I start X-Plane, so we'll just leave it on. A lot of the other helicopter guys might be able to tell me some more about that. So this is very, very difficult to fly. I'll tell you that right now. Before we ever take flight in a helicopter, we want to make sure and look at our stick, make sure we have our cyclic correct, which is left, right, forward, and back, which it is. And what that does is that changes the angle of attack on the blades. So if we go to the outside view here and we go to the side, here's a good way to see it. If I pull back, you'll see how it goes back. Go forward, it goes forward. That's how you fly forward. Left towards us and right away from us. That's how the cyclic works. The collective is the other piece here in the helicopter, and it's this little guy, and it pulls up. You pull up on it, and that changes the pitch of the blades to bite into the wind, and that's how you get lift off of the blades. So to get this thing off the ground, we want to start adding just slight amounts of collective, a little bit more. What I'm doing is I'm adding throttle, but it's pulling the collective is essentially what we're doing here. And if you guys are normally to airplanes in X-Plane, you have to go into your joystick settings here in equipment, and either select it to collective for your throttle, or if you have your throttle, just hit reverse because it's reversed of your normal throttle. That's probably why if you load a helicopter, you're just crashing everywhere and you can't do anything because it's at max collective. Okay, so we'll just do a little bit more, and we're gonna get a thing called light on the skids. Now, there we go. I'll let back off the collective a little bit. You'll notice the helicopter shot to the right. The reason for this is this guy in the back, the tail rotor. There it is right there. And you can see how it's constantly pushing us in a certain way. It pushes us to the right. So to counteract that, we go left on the anti-torque pedal, which is like your rudder pedals down here. You can see they're moving. So we want to go left to counteract it. So let's do that. We add a little bit more. We'll get what we call light on the skids. A little bit more power on up. And then we go left on there until we counteract it like this. All right, beautiful. And then little left cyclic, add some power, and a little bit more left, and we're more or less in the air. And now we do a thing called like a transitioning period where the helicopter, once we start seeing this nose start going left, we can start releasing that left pedal to the middle. There we go. Screwed that up, but these things are hard to fly. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, nice. So now we're just achieving our speed by forward cyclic, as you can see here. And I can, step on the ball and left and try to keep it in coordinated flight. Now, I'm not, going to be perfect, so we're just going to take this one thing at a time. We're shooting here off the end of runway 30 right. So actually 12 left is the direction we're heading. And this is Highway 170 here. So we're going to fly over here to the right. We're picking up one of the markers for the ILS for 30 right there. And this is Highway 170, and right off our nose is Highway 70. So we're gonna head back around this way. And off our nose is Ramona Lake. I know in one episode when I was flying, I think it was the first X-plane I did, I said that this was Rent Lake or something like that, which I don't even know why I said that, but this is Ramona Lake. And you can actually go fishing there. They do have fish, and they have a park there and everything, but really neat that they have that modeled. That freight train there is not, those are not there pretty much in real life. Look at that police car just flying there on the edge. Like back to what I was saying, the freight train, X-plane doesn't know the difference between a monorail system, which is our Metrolink in St. Louis, and between that and a freight train. So they put freight trains on the tracks that the monorail or the Metrolink would normally be flying. We're continuing this way. We're near Bermuda Street now, and we're going to continue around. This is absolutely accurate. The highway systems are just incredible in this. So we're on 70, and we're going to take this around. What it does is it does a big, huge loop before it heads all the way back out to the it kind of ends and turns into 55 south, which I know is kind of screwy. The highway systems in St. Louis are very weird. We have Highway 70 here, which we're heading east on 70. If we go west, we'd be headed towards Kansas City behind us. But we're going east instead. And east kind of curves back around and we head south and it turns into Highway 55. So as beautiful as that is, I know. So we're just traveling on here on Highway 70, doing kind of what the news channels would be doing in the mornings or whatever for traffic. I just thought we'd do something a little bit different, and some of you guys really wanted to see what the helicopters were like in X-plane, and they're very, very difficult to fly. It's because the flight model is so difficult, but also by default, the default helicopters are not that great. That's why I want to get into a payware one pretty bad. And I've been thinking about either the Dreamfoil 206 or maybe the 412 or maybe even the I don't know. Haven't decided. But yeah, we swing back around and we're heading over here towards Union. We're almost to Union Street, and this is where we're hitting that middle or the outer marker for ILS runway 30 right. What's funny here off to my right, that's where the whole industrial area is right there. That's where my mom worked, and I used to go down there all the time. And the ILS outer marker is actually right around here. We just picked up. That's what that sound was. And I would be at her work, and you just see the airplanes come in at a nice, 45-degree angle, and they'd intercept the ILS for 30 left or 30 right there. And that's what we were hearing there, was the information from that. So we're continuing this way. Highway 70 continues to go around to the left, and then it swings back around to the right as we hit... actually, I'll take it that way because I want to show you something really cool, which is Hall Street. And I need to step on that. A little more left, anti-torque pedal. There we go. Nice. And a misconception about helicopters is they don't fly how you see in the movies. In the movies, you see them like nose down, biting, getting all that speed they possibly can. And that's, just a good way to get a lot of speed. But, what was I going to say? Oh, the helicopters fly pretty much straight and level. You can see here on my attitude indicator, that is the case. So we're almost to Adelaide here, and that's Hall Street. Off our nose. And Hall Street's very well known in St. Louis as being the drag strip. Back in the day, they used to do drag racing on Hall Street. So Hall Street's kind of famous for that. We'll continue this way. We're almost to Salisbury. Well, actually, no, right there is Grand. We're crossing over Grand, and then next is Salisbury, and then we continue north towards downtown St. Louis. Just really different to fly low and slow in the simulator rather than what we're used to, being high up in the air or, doing departure. One thing really cool about the X-Plane platform is, look at that, the lighting. You can see the traffic lights, red and green, and it's just really, really, really cool. And look at the spacing of the cars and just how they behave is incredible. Absolutely incredible. If you guys want this St. Louis scenery, I'm gonna do my best. I'll put a link in the description where you can get this guy's sceneries that he makes. I've done a lot of custom work to it, but nothing downtown. Everything downtown is pretty much stock. So if you just want downtown St. Louis or something like that, and he does a lot of different other freeware sceneries that are fantastic, or better than not having anything at all at a lot of airports in X-Plane. I'll leave the link below in there for that. We keep an eye on that cell phone tower there. We don't want to run into that. So now we're almost here to downtown, and this is off our nose is the landing. A lot of bars and all that kind of stuff. And off to our right is the Edward Jones Dome, where the St. Louis Rams play. And no, I am not a St. Louis Rams fan. And yes, it is illegal to fly under the arch or over the air grounds. They've got an ADIZ around it, kind of like, the White House and all that would have. It's a flight restriction. So we can come down here to the right a little bit, and we just take nice and easy movements with the cyclic is all you have to do in a helicopter. We don't have to really fight too much with it. We don't have to do much with the tail rotor or anything, or anti-torque pedals. And we'll fly around it that way. There's a helipad down there that's not legit at all. But off to our right there's Busch Stadium, where the Cardinals play, the new Busch Stadium. And this is Highway 40 running right alongside it. And if we take 40 all the way back, we'll run into Forest Park and all that area. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna continue. I was thinking about taking 44 right off our nose here. We might take 44 back all the way down to 270 where I live. So let's do that actually. Off of our nose, all those little houses down there is the projects. Let's come back down in some altitude. And to come down in altitude in the helicopter, we just pull our collective back a little bit. And we're in good hands, essentially. That's all state stands, you're in good hands. So we'll head back down this way. This is Highway 44, that's the on-ramp there. And we're almost now to Grand. And then after Grand is Kings Highway, which is neat. I could show you where I used to work in a cubicle a long time ago, around 2010, 2011, right there. Around that time. It's right off to our right there. You can't really see it too well, but I can kind of show you. It's in this gridded area. That's the best that I can do for you. So we'll continue following Highway 44 west now. And yes, this is the highway right here that takes you all the way to Joplin, Missouri, all the way through Oklahoma and all that. It's really neat details they have in X-Plane. I really like it. It makes helicopter flying a lot more fun than FSX. FSX just kind of has this cartoony kind of look to a lot of things. Oh, there's a big problem there. The highway went under the ground. As I'm giving praise to X-Plane, they do that. no worries at all. So we're pretty much right now over the hill, which is the Italian suburb there of St. Louis, and that's where where toasted raviolis were formed. And if you don't know what toasted raviolis are, you might know what a ravioli is. A toasted ravioli is a deep fried ravioli, and it originated in St. Louis, there on the hill where we just flew over. So a lot of neat nostalgia. We're just going to continue flying along Highway 44 here and dodging our big, huge cell phone towers as we're almost to Webster Groves. We'll be there before too long. This is really cool because we're almost here to Laclede Station Road, and Big Bend is the name of one of the roads. And right here where this big, huge industrial area is, we got a big, huge train depot is what it is. And we'll probably start picking up the tracks soon. So we're almost to Southwest Avenue, right off our nose, coming up on it. And that takes you down to Big Bend over there where that tower is. But Webster Groves is quite a bit further down here towards the front of us. Just really cool to see a lot of your own, towns. The road structures are the road network in X-Plane is just absolutely remarkable. Yeah, it's got anomalies, but you know what? This is not, it's not a driving simulator. You're not going to have perfect roads and all that. But, I mean, for flying way above them, and when you're coming into land at an airport, it's just badass. So here's the train depot here. We're pretty much close to it now. And you see where it splits there. That whole area right there is the train depot. And just to the right would be, in real life right there, right where that circle is, where the off-ramp is on the right there. That's a huge 2 water towers. I might add those in later down the road as I continue. It's something I really wanted to do with the St. Louis scenery that I've been working on. I use this guy's scenery, but I add on to it and make it my own. And I kind of just been wanting to add a lot of the landmarks of St. Louis around here. So helicopter flying's a little more fun than not doing anything at all. Here comes a train right now. Let's kind of get a little low. Let's buzz them here. There we go. Let's do illegal stuff. Big freight train. Hello. Long freight train. Burlington, Northern Santa Fe. And we do see those. Actually, that exact livery of that train goes to that depot that I was talking about a little bit ago. All right, let's get some altitude here so we can see a little bit more as we're now getting closer to Webster Groves. And if you know this area, we are this is Elm Street up here. And then it's Big Bend. And then the highway turn. No. Elm's here. And I don't know the next one, but that we have the highway bends to the left, and then we have Big Bend, and then we'll be to the 270 44 intersection, which is a big cloverleaf. When we get there, you'll know what I'm talking about. And then we can fly down to Fenton, Missouri, where I live. And I'll show you guys down there where we'll see if the actual road system is there where I live. That would be pretty cool. I've never actually looked in it's an FSX, they had it, but I was using a lot of different stuff, a lot of add-ons. It was the FTX Global, so it was a little more accurate, we'll say that. Man, we are really overspeeding the shit out of this thing. I was wondering why I didn't have any more forward cyclic, and that's the reason why. Let's pull the collective back. We were overspeeding. We're pretty damn near 150 knots. Which is crazy. Okay, here's the interchange. This is the Fenton Valley Park area. So we're off our noses, Valley Park. And here's the interchange. It used to be an old cloverleaf, and there's 2 parts of that structure there now, but everything else is pretty much crazy. There's the Merrimack off our nose. And let's just go ahead and make a left here, and we'll take Highway 270 south to Highway 30. And if you remember, if you've seen my time-lapse videos where I was driving home from work one night, This is the highway that I take all the way down to Highway 30, and then 30 takes us into Fenton. If you're wondering, if you memorized that. It's really neat to see the elevation. It's pretty damn accurate. And we're getting close to Highway 30, also known as Gravois Road. It's funny because it's Gravois, but they pronounce it, or we pronounce it Gravois, but it's spelled Gravois. So a lot of people that don't know how to pronounce it correctly call it Gravois. So that's, we just shake our head at that. We're like, no, not even close. All right, let's make our turn here and take Highway 30. Beautiful. Just let the nose of the helicopter drop on its own. We don't have to fight it. And now we'll take Highway 30 down towards Fenton, which we are doing right now. A lot of police helicopter activity down here. A lot of helicopter activity over my house because one of the VFR corridors, which is like an indivisible highway through Bravo airspace, that shows us where, oh, there's that intersection. A lot of accidents happen right there in that intersection. It's a big, huge church on our left there on that hill. Can't see it. Like I said, I need to add these things for helicopter flying. But what was I saying? Oh, yeah. There's a big VFR corridor, so a lot of helicopters fly over our house. And then it's drawing the shadow in as the elevation changes. Here's Merrimack River. And then we go up the hill, and as we come down the hill, we exit to the right, and we are in Fenton, Missouri, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, that's a big, sharp hill there. That's not too legit, but you know, it works. There's the off-ramp, and here's Highway 141 and 30, and there's a big shopping center off our nose here, and the first right up here, right there's our road. That's, my house is right in there. The second one, if that helps. But pretty cool. So let's just kind of fly around here a little bit, and then I think we'll just head to maybe we'll head to Spirit of St. Louis and land there, so we don't have to land back at Lambert. So just keep an eye on here, off of our nose. I'm just flying over my neighborhood. Got one little fight. My mom got scared. I don't know why that's in my head. Yep, that's my neighborhood. It's where I live. Pretty cool. All right, so let's go ahead and head to Spirit of St. Louis Airport. So we'll just fly there direct. I'll just dead reckon it. I know how to get there. Or actually we'll just use pilotage, not dead reckoning. I always say that, and then people get upset at me because I said dead reckoning instead of pilotage. Pilotage is just using landmarks and VFR to get you where you're going. And I know how to get there, so we will do that. Let's get low. Let's fly on the deck. It's a lot of fun to do. We'd be scaring the living shit out of these people here. The people of Fenton in Valley Park. It's Highway 30. Still off our nose. Let's do some fun low-level flying. I love doing it. Just takes a nice steady hand. You don't want to go too much. This takes us towards Valley Park. And we just kind of keep an eye, glance on our altimeter a little bit here and there, but you basically just go off of what you see on the ground. That's a weird looking tree all by itself. It's a sprite, so it's just one texture there. All right. Go to the right a little bit more here. And we're getting closer down here towards Highway 44. And then we'll just kind of shoot directly to due west to get to Spirit of St. Louis. So there's the big hill that goes down to Highway 44. And right off my nose to the right, so here's the intersection. Right here to the right there, that's Booter Park. And Booter Park has RC flying field there. It's actually right there. Right around that bend there. And so I'm going to be getting a permit to fly RC planes there, since my wonderful girlfriend Nicole bought me an RC plane for Christmas, and I did already have a maiden flight on it, and I did not crash it. Landed it beautifully. I've had some practice in a flight simulator, or RC helicopter flight simulator. It was helped out a lot, getting used to micros, ultra micro RC planes are what they're called. Still following Highway 141 here. Let's fly dangerously. I love it. Just really cool flying a helicopter in X-Plane. A lot different than FSXs you were used to before. And you may be wondering, you know, if you're getting low on the deck like this, close to trees and stuff, and we're keeping the speed, we're trying to keep it underneath that red line, because before that was just unexcusable what I was doing. But to slow up and maintain the same altitude, you bring the nose back and then you just drop the collective out. You'll be going the same altitude. You won't lose much altitude, but you'll definitely slow the helicopter down, which is really neat. Getting down here towards the Manchester area, Manchester Road, Highway 100. And then we keep taking 141. This is Manchester right here off of our nose, the big interchange. And we take this down to Clayton, but we won't do that. We're just going to continue right where we're headed, and we'll be headed right towards the airport, which is Spirit of St. Louis Airport in Chesterfield, Missouri. Bit more power. Keeping an eye on that airspeed. I don't want to get too crazy here. Could also be that I'm flying it incorrectly with the governor on, but because what the governor does is it just governs your RPM on the blade, so the pilot doesn't have to manually do it in flight. Helps out a lot. There's another cell phone tower off to our right. We're really close to the valley now, getting closer and closer, and I love that about X-Plane, the terrain. And I'm using that V3 mesh from Alpilot. It's donationware, so make a donation if you pick it up. Alrighty. We're getting closer. Closer to the valley, I say. And we pretty much take this all the way down to the Missouri River, because the Missouri River hugs right along Chesterfield and the airport in Chesterfield. It's a beautiful day to be flying. I tell you. Cold outside, but beautiful nonetheless. Left hand flying there. That wasn't too good. That wasn't too brilliant. Well, for some of you guys that don't have or aren't following me on Twitter or my Snapchat, Jay Fabiano, you're missing out on some things. Like I took a picture and I'll actually put it on Twitter today, showing you guys my joystick mod, what it looks like. I already did it on Snapchat, but I'll do it on Twitter as well for you guys. It'll be pretty awesome. So if you have, and like I took the spring off, and to take the spring off, you know, maybe you have a SciTech, a different, like a Cyborg, or who knows what kind of joystick you do have. But if you have one of those and the spring is just too much and it just like it's clunky feeling and all that, and it's crazy, the easiest way is to remove that spring, and then I just put rubber bands on the top, and I gotta tell you, it's been great ever since. Actually, you know what? I'm looking at the time right now. I had to cut for restraints. I'm gonna make this right at about a half hour. Spirit of St. Louis is off to our left. If we follow that down, it'll take us that way. Just to save time, we're instead gonna go here, which is Creve Coeur Airport. And I worked on the scenery. This was all done by hand. Every little airplane, every little thing I had to put on there. It was a little bit of a bitch, but I wanted to have some decent scenery for around the St. Louis area. So let's start slowing this helicopter up. And we're gonna land on the ramp there to our right. So slowing down a little bit more. This does need some help though, the scenery does. Okay, start slowing it up. We're using a lot of anti-torque to the right now to let the nose come back around on us while maintaining slower flight each little bit of time. Very nice. And now we'll bring the... Remember, when we took off, we had to add that left anti-torque pedal. We're going to have to do that on landing too. So a little more to the left here. And once we get into that transition period, there's a P-51 Mustang sitting on the ramp. There's a World War II restoration place here on this field. We'll land right here. It's going to be good. Let's start slowing this thing up until almost a hover. And then watch. There's the nose going to the right. So we add that left. More left. Ooh, easy, easy. Let the skids come down nice and smooth. Woo! Woo! A little bit more. A little more. Woo, hello, buddy. And we're down. Whoa, that was crazy. Let's watch that replay. All right, certainly wasn't the smoothest landing, but it was a landing nonetheless. So let's shut this thing down. Pretty easy to do that. We just kill the fuel valve to the off position. And we can go ahead and turn the generator off. And we can turn the battery off. So now we have no power. And the engine is spooling down. Beautiful. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this one. Hit the like button if you want to see more X-Plane, and leave a comment below about something that I did wrong, perhaps flying helicopters. I'm still learning helicopters. And like I said, it's not going to get more fun until we get into the payware realm, where the helicopters are a lot more advanced in systems. This is very, very easy to turn on and start and all that good stuff. But flying it is pretty much, it wasn't like horrible, but it wasn't the greatest. So I'm going to look around and see if there's any mods for a new new flight model for it or something, and maybe we could get something more out of it. But you know, something different than normal, flying low to the ground and checking out the beauty of X-Plane 10. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you on a future flight. Take care.